こんにちは、眠いロコです。Hey guys, how are you doing? Have you ever been studying Japanese and thought, wow, English and Japanese have completely different word order? I have. When I first studied English, I was like, 目的語より先に動詞が来るの? Today, I'd like to talk about one of the big differences between Japanese and English, noun modification. By noun modification, I mean phrases such as the movie that I watched yesterday, or a person who is reading a book. You are adding extra information to describe the noun. In English, you put the noun first, and the explanation comes after it. But in Japanese, the order is reversed. The explanation comes first, and the noun comes at the end. There are several different patterns, so today I'd like to take a look at them. Alright, let's get started. English often uses relative pronouns like that, who, and which to connect the noun and the explanation. Japanese doesn't have words like them. You simply connect the noun and the explanation directly. First up, let's check out how adjectives modify nouns. The present affirmative form is easy to understand, because in English, the adjective also comes before the noun. For example, an interesting movie is 面白い映画 and a lively town is 賑やかな街. Next, we'll look at modifying nouns with negative adjectives. I guess English doesn't really use negative adjectives to modify nouns very often. For example, rather than saying a person who is not funny, English speakers say a boring person. And instead of a town that is not lively, they say a quiet town. English tends to prefer modifying nouns with affirmative adjectives, but Japanese doesn't work that way. For example, you can say 面白くない人 or 賑やかじゃない街. You can use the past affirmative and past negative forms in exactly the same way. For example, 賑やかだった街 高くなかった本. So let's check some examples to see how these forms function. 面白い映画を見ました。高くないレストランを探しています。賑やかだった街が静かになった。おいしくなかった料理を残した。Alright, let's practice. Please answer the question. どんな人と結婚したくないですか? なるほど。Okay, now let's check out how verbs modify nouns. So here is the example from earlier. 昨日私が見た映画. The word order is completely different from English, isn't it? There are 3 points to keep in mind. First, as I said earlier, the explanation comes first and the noun comes at the end. Just so you know, this descriptive part is called a noun modifying clause. And second, inside a noun modifying clause, you use が instead of は. I mentioned this a bit in the video about the difference between は and が. Using は here sounds very unnatural, so remember that when a verb modifies a noun, you don't use は. The third point is that inside a noun modifying clause, the verb must be in the short form. So you don't say, 昨日私が見ました映画. That's incorrect in both formal and casual situations. If you haven't studied the short form yet, please check out this video. Alright, let's look at some example sentences. 友達が作ったクッキーは美味しかった。私が住んでいる町は有名じゃない。あそこで本を読んでいる人は私の母です。カラオケで歌いたい曲がない。Alright, let's practice. Please translate this English into Japanese. Here is the answer. Did you get it right? Lastly, I'd like to talk about the relative pronoun what. Sentences that use what looks like this. What he said was true. This is what I wanted. In Japanese schools, we learned that what means the thing which. But is it actually correct? Anyway, putting that aside, how can we express this type of what in Japanese? It's not nani, of course. This what can be expressed as mono or koto in Japanese. The difference between mono and koto is a bit difficult, but for now, it's enough to remember that mono refers to concrete physical things, and koto refers to abstract ideas. For example, using earlier sentences, 彼が言ったことは本当でした。これが私が欲しかったものです。Alright, quiz time. Which one fits in the blank? Mono or こと？あなたが知っているを教えてください。The answer is こと。Did you get it? How was today's lesson? Japanese and English have completely different word order, so it can feel tough at first. If we practice a lot, you gradually get used to it. You've got this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. またねー。